Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series. So as you all know that we are having an agriculture optional answer writing practice series in which we discuss one question regularly so that you can practice answer writing following these questions and that can improve your answer writing skills. So today's question is give account of soil fertility evaluation techniques. And the second part of the question is asking about us about enlist the points to be considered along with soil test values for fertilizer dose recommendation. So first part is quite easy, that we have to discuss the soil fertility evaluation techniques. What are the techniques through which we can evaluate soil fertility? And the second part is a bit trickier, but I will not say it is a trickier. That is simply asking what are the points you will consider along with soil test values for fertilizer dose recommendation. Suppose we have to do fertilizer dose recommendation. So we will obviously take the values of soil test while recommending the fertilizer dose. But with soil test, there are other factors also which should be taken care or which should be kept in mind while deciding the fertilizer dose recommendation. So we have to discuss those other factors, okay, which are recommended or which are needed for fertilizer dose recommendation. So this question was asked in this year's men's agriculture optional paper, that is 2024 agriculture optional paper of UPSC CSE. So we will see how we can approach the answers. Okay. So as you all know that soil fertility is very important, because without soil fertility, any kind of proper agriculture management is impossible. Okay. If you want to produce good in agriculture, we would have to have good soil fertility for good agricultural produce. That is why soil fertility is very important when it comes to agriculture. It is one of the primary, or you can say basic requirements for agriculture production. Now we will see what are the soil fertility evaluation techniques. The first one is soil sampling. So what we will do, we will collect soil samples from different areas of the field at different depths. Okay, we will collect collect samples collect samples from different areas of field, different areas of our agriculture land or field at different depths at different depths. So what we will do in soil sampling, we will go to our agricultural field and we will collect samples from different areas, so that suppose this is our field and might be that this area is good in fertility status, but this lower area could be low. So that is why we have to take from different areas at different depths, because soil fertility can be also varying at different depths. And we will do proper sampling and we will get to know which parts of the field has good soil fertility and which parts of the field has low soil fertility. Secondly, obviously we will do soil testing. Different types of tests can be performed on soil to know its status. For example, pH tests. We can do nutrient analysis test. Nutrient analysis test. We can do cation exchange capacity test. Cation exchange capacity test. It is also known as CEC test. CEC test. Next, we can do visual assessments, that is evaluating soil color visually on the basis of color, structure, texture, on the basis of color, structure, soil texture. So all these things can be done. I hope you have written this or you understood this. Okay. And for example, you can also mention here, suppose a soil is in dark in color. So if a soil is dark in color, we can say that it indicates higher organic matter. So darker the soil, higher is the organic matter. So this is the way we can check for color, we can check for structure, we can check for texture. So these things can be visual assessment. We can do crop response trials. Okay, we will grow different crops in the soil and we will see how the crops are responding. Suppose we have to plant some commercial crop for a season. So before that season, we will grow that crop and we will see the results. and through that results we will get to know what kind of fertility status is of soil. Suppose we will also plant crop and we will add different amendments, suppose organic matter, some kind of fertilizer. We will see the response of the crop, and according to that we will get to know the soil fertility status. Next, soil moisture analysis is very important, because we all know that how important soil moisture is for nutrient availability and microorganisms availability. Microorganisms availability, or you can say microorganic activity. Micro, or you can say microbial activity. That will be more better. Microbial activity. So that's these two things can be done. Either we can do nutrient oh yes, we can do soil moisture analysis. We have to check the moisture for soils, because this moisture is very important for nutrient availability and microbial activity. So checking soil moisture and analysis will be another technique. We will do macroscopic analysis, as the word only says macroscopic analysis, that is generally to go take the soil sample in lab and check it at microscopic levels. Okay, what are the nutrients present? We have to examine soil microorganisms, we have to soil certain kind of nutrients, and all these things will give a certain amount of data about soil fertility. Remote sensing can be done, that is viewing the soil through imaginary vegetation. You will see when you see the remote sensing, your soil will be seen in different colors, through which we can come to a certain conclusion that which color is suggesting good soil, which color is suggesting bad soil, what kind of vegetation is growing, not growing. So everything can be checked using remote sensing. We can check nutrient uptake monitoring, that is what kind of nutrients are taken by plant. Are the nutrients, many times what happens, soils are good in nutrients, but those nutrients are not available in absorbable forms to the plants. So we have to also check that each plant is able to absorb the nutrients from the soil or not. So that can be done by nutrient uptake monitoring. Again, we can do soil microbial activity assessment, as I have discussed only, to know the status of soil microbes, because that could be very important, because many microbes are important for nitrogen fixation and other things which are very useful for plant growth. So we will do that. We will take field observations. We will check the historical data, how the plants have behaved historically on that land. How we will also observe some field observation data will be collected. So all these things are very important, and these things can help us in determining the soil fertility status. Okay, as the question say. So these are the some of the soil fertility evaluation techniques. So this was the first part of the question. Now we will see the second part of the question. It is asking us about list the points to be considered along with soil test values for fertilizer dose recommendation. Obviously, for fertilizer dose recommendation, we will take soil test values, okay, which could be done through these processes. For example, I've seen it soil testing, where we will take pH test, other tests, okay, pH test, nutrient analysis test. All of these tests will be taken, and those values will be always will be used in fertilizer dose recommendation. But along those values, there are other things also which are used in fertilizer dose recommendation. To have to discuss those other things, other factors. Okay, that is along with soil test values. So we have taken soil test values. Other than soil test values, what are the other factors we will which will keep in mind while determining fertilizer dose recommendation? The first factor we should keep in mind is crop nutritional requirements, because suppose we are growing rice, so we know that rice has a certain requirement. So knowing those crop nutritional requirement is very important. Suppose we have tested for soil fertility, soil tests have been done, and here we see that around 30 kgs of nitrogen will be provided by soil. Okay, but we know that crop nutritional status in rice, that rice needs 50 kg of nitrogen. So what we will do, we will add here 20 kg of nitrogen. So what our dosing is done, that we have to add 20 kg of nitrogen. This is how knowing the crop nutritional requirements can help us in fertilizer dose recommendation. We will check for previous crops history, what are the dosing in previous crops and how they have performed with with those dosings. We will keep those dosings in mind, and that will help us in current dosings. Okay, we will check environmental factors, because various fertilizers show various factors while in effect of environment. Suppose some fertilizers we will only give 80% of absorption ratio in certain environment, while some fertilizers will give 60% of absorption ratio in certain environment. So these environmental factors has an effect on absorption ratio of different fertilizers, because they will react to environment, they will interact with environment. Suppose the environmental is quite moisty, or moisture levels are high, then there will be higher chances of leaching of these nutrients or other things. So that is why environmental factors should be kept in mind. Nutrient interactions, many times various nutrients interact with each other and gives various results. So we have to keep in mind that how the nutrients are interacting, and that we will keep in mind while dosing the fertilizers and applying different nutrients. Application method, various application methods have various efficiency. Suppose you are doing now fertigation. For example, we are applying through fertigation. So what happens in fertigation? We all know that the nutrients are provided through drip irrigation methods. So here nutrients are directly going to the roots, so the efficiency of fertilizers will be very high. Okay. So if your plants need 20 kg, we will just give 25 kg, because we know that around 80% will be absorbed and the efficiency is high. But when we are using other methods, suppose we are using normal methods, okay, and we know that the efficiency is low, efficiency is only 50%. So when 20 kg is required, we will have to give 40 kg of fertilizer, so that efficiently it can take up 20 kg and the requirement is maintained. So efficiency is also important. To know the efficiency, we can do various application methods could be checked, because it depends on it. We will always see timing of application. At various times the application requirement will be different. For example, for plants, the plants will also have various times when they require fertilizers. For example, it could be vegetative phase, flowering phase, other phases. So we have to keep that mind. Also economic considerations, the especially of the farmers, because suppose there is a fertilizer which is very good, okay, and its efficiency is very high, but it is costlier, so farmer is not able to afford it. So we have to also recommend those as per the economic considerations. If the economic considerations of low, we will have to keep the dosing at the various minimum level, so that the farmer can afford it, and the crop is also not affected much. We will here add in the dosage more about organic matter and other things which are available to farmers, wastage which are available to farmers. Sustainability, we have to also keep sustainability in mind. Suppose dosing 40 kg of fertilizer will give a very high yield, but we have to also see that in that what this 40 kg of fertilizer will affect our environment, how that will affect our environment. It says that after 20 kg the environmental effects are very high, so we have to keep in mind that we will not exceed 20 kg limit. So keeping sustainable practices in mind while using the fertilizers is also important. So these are some of the points which we have to keep in mind while dosing the fertilizers, other than soil test. Obviously we will soil test recommendations are important for fertilizer dosing, but other than soil test recommendations, these points are important, which the question was asking. So I hope you understand the both parts of the question, and you will be able to write this so nicely. So that is all for today. If you like it, please press the like button, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis, and if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.